slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the...
To roll, one thing I noticed this bike does not have right off the bat, you cannot go to pedal assist 0. And another thing too is when there's light shining directly on this, it is very hard to read this display. But yeah, I just really wish it had a 0 mode. I guess if you want to pedal this bike, you just have to turn it off, but then you won't know how fast you're going. But I feel like they should have had a 0 pedal assist mode on there so you could just pedal this bike like a normal bike. And now let's try to do our top speed run now that we have a full battery charge. I'd like to get that out of the way. 27. I feel like I got a cutoff right there, like the bike didn't want to keep going. Yeah, like it cut off. It's kind of interesting, you know, 28 miles per hour. Okay, there we go. But I'm noticing a fluctuation of power, so it doesn't want to keep going faster and faster, but the bike feels like it wants to go faster, but it feels like something in the controller is kind of telling this bike like, hey, no, like slow down. It's limited to 28 miles per hour. And if you guys can see the display, you can see that it says our power on this side. So we're not even doing 100 watts, we're doing 96 watts. And then you can see when it jumps down to 30 watts, that's when the power cuts out. So it's like limiting how fast this bike can go. That's odd to me. I've never rode a bike that really did that. The only time I've ever noticed a bike do that is when you don't have it unlocked. But all the speed is unlocked in the settings. We can go as fast as this bike will go, and that's it. That's all we got. Now keep in mind, this is exactly the first time I'm riding this bike. As soon as you guys see me recording this stuff, I have not rode this bike beforehand to get any type of judgment on it or any type of information. I'm literally telling you guys exactly how it is if you guys were to jump on this bike and how you feel about it. Now it feels not that bumpy. It doesn't feel like super comfortable. The seat is kind of narrow. The seat's not my favorite, but the suspension seat post is doing okay. I do feel like the suspension post is like getting stuck. So like it will go down, but then pop up every so often. And what I mean by that is the simple fact that when I sit on it, I feel the seat post go down. When I hit a very big pothole, I can feel it like pop up, but then as soon as I'm done with the pothole, it goes right back down. But it's not like moving ever so slightly with all the little bumps. All right, so we're gonna have to do this test on this side. If you guys are new to the channel, I know I always pull over on that side, but there's a lot of kids walking. So we normally do a test to see how this bike is, like 0 to 25, 0 to 28, whatever the top speed on this bike is, which is 28 miles per hour. I don't know if we're gonna make it in the stretch because it is a very slow takeoff bike, but we're gonna try it right here and we're gonna use the throttle only. We're not gonna pedal. We're gonna see how it is. So 1, 2, 3, go. Highest pedal assist. So we're at 10, 15, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. We're gonna run out of road. We're gonna run out of road. 27, almost 27. It's actually 26.6 is what I last saw on the display. So in that long stretch of road, we did not hit top speed. Doesn't mean the bike is not quick or anything like that. It's just not super fast, but it's nice and comfortable to ride. It's a very safe e-bike. You're gonna get very good range out of the 750 watt motor. And the fact that it's limiting my power up top to not go faster than 28 tells me that you're not gonna be wasting a lot of energy of this battery by hitting max speed the whole entire time, which is kind of a good thing, but also a bad thing. All right, so let's go take this thing off-road right now because that's what this thing is made for. Let's go check it out. Ooh, a little chain slap right there. All right. Okay, so this is where the seat post is coming in clutch right now because I can feel it moving a little tiny bit. I still feel it getting stuck. I still stand by that statement. But it's actually not that bad of a bike to go off-roading with. It's definitely better than half of the bikes I reviewed already. I would say this is probably like a 7.5 out of 10 going off-road, especially with not having suspension in the back. It's nice. I'll give it that. Mud? I'm not sure I want to go through all that. Nope. Oh man, we're going this way. All right, so I'm going to go this way. Man, why do they have this all blocked off? I'm going around it. Screw it. Hey, this is what this bike's made for, right? Let's go off-road. Oh, God. Woo. Oh, man. We should not be doing that. Oh, I know why they have this blocked off. There's bees. Last time they came through, there was hella bees. Oh, let me close my visor. I like the fact that this motor is very quiet as well. Woo! That dip right there, I definitely felt the suspension seat post working. Felt very nice. Oh, this is very bumpy right here. Holy crap. Some of those spots were rough, but I mean, I'm actually kind of impressed with this bike. Now, every time I stand on the bike, I'm on my tippy toes, so that's not ideal for me. This is a little bit of a taller bike to sit on. Like, it's doable. I just don't like when I get to intersections, I feel like I am a motorcycle, like I'm barely standing, or I have to like lean over to put like one foot, like solid foot down while my other one's up. I'm not a big fan of that, but this is a pretty nice bike so far. So let's keep on trucking that way. Let's go test out these brakes after we get off this trail. That feels so crazy. Like, it feels nice and it feels weird at the same time having my seat move up and down. Woo! Oh, wow, that was a big bump. Now again, if you guys want a slightly more comfortable ride, all you guys have to do is just lower the PSI on these tires, because these are gonna be definitely a lot more comfortable if you air them down to like 12 or 13 or so. You could even go super low. I probably wouldn't go past like 8, but you guys could do it. All right, so before I do this braking test, I'm gonna start recording my top speed to make sure this top speed matches with GPS, just to make sure they're ideal. Most bikes lie, so I'm gonna reset this. My last top speed was 52. I think I was on the Super 73. All right, so I reset that, and let's see how it is. I'm going to record, put it in my pocket. We'll do these brake tests, and then we'll check out how fast this bike is actually going. All right, so I'm hitting max speed, 28 miles per hour. Well, let's hope that's right. We're gonna go right off here. We're gonna brake. 1, 2, 3, go. Woo! All right. I think we might have been a little bit better if I would have locked out the suspension, because the front really came down. So the suspension is working pretty good, I would say. But it wasn't the best brakes that I've had on a bike, because it just wanted to lock up completely, and I wasn't trying to lock them up, so I was really trying to play with the brakes. But some of the other bikes we've done have been like right there, and I think we had a bike, I think, right before that mark. So this is kind of in between that, but we'll run this back again. We'll come back this way and we'll try it one more time. All right, so we're at about 25. Let's hit the brakes now. Woo! All right, so that did a little bit better. Maybe we're actually breaking these brakes in right now. So that wasn't too bad. It's about like 4 bike lengths from that, so I mean, I give the brakes a pass. I will say these are hands down better than any mechanical brakes that you're ever gonna get on an e-bike. So I'll give them that. They feel nice in the hands. One thing I'm noticing though on this display is that it is already like fogging up, like on the inside. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if you guys can even see that over camera. I'm trying to get like the best angle, but it's fogging up right here and it's fogging up right there. I don't know if that's because there's heat coming off of the screen onto the plate on the outside. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but just something I noticed. But anyways, moving on. Now that we did the brake test, let's try out the pedal assist. Let's see how that does, because we've been using the throttle the whole entire time for the last like 4 miles. So, all right, I'm pedaling. Ooh, that's a slow start. Definitely a slow start. All right, so the pedals have a very huge delay. So I'll do this test again, make sure I'm not holding the throttle at all. I don't want to make it seem like I'm rigging this, but here we go. Now the motor's on. And the motor is very slow to pick up speed. It's kind of weird. Let me do that again. I'll go a little slower. I'm gonna do it again, start pedaling. Motor's on. That's weird. I don't know. Something's on that car flapping. Oh, they're undercarriage. That is not safe. Oh, that was nice and smooth. That transition from the street to the dirt, absolutely insane. That was like crisp. And since this is an off-road bike, that means we got to come up this hill. We did it on the other bike. Oh my God. Whoa. Whee! Oh, that went up at like ease. I mean, I did have a good running start at it, but this bike is nice and comfortable with these big tires on here. Definitely comfortable than the other one. I hit that straight on, and that was not bad at all. All right, let's jump off the curb. Someone lost their pants, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So you guys see how that suspension is? It's nice. Gotta give it that. How's this camera angle looking? It's nice. I want to do a wheelie. No, the suspension, it doesn't travel as much as most bikes, but I mean, that's nice. It's doable. I give it that. Now, I didn't mention, but the front does not have a quick release for the front wheel. So if you ever do get a flat and you want to take the tire off really quick, you will have to have some, I think it's 14 or 15 millimeter wrenches or sockets to take it off. It's not a big deal. It's just, it's nicer and quicker when you have a quick release on the front, which I feel like most bikes like this should have a quick release. Now, I'm glad it wasn't muddy going through there because it's been raining in California forever the last couple days. And without fenders on this bike, we would have got blasted. My jacket would have been drenched. It would have been nasty. Turn's very good. It's a nice turn right there. I like it. I like it. Feels very stable too. I don't feel any type of weird wobble or anything weird from the tires. They feel nice and planted, and it definitely handles very good. Now, can you guys see that those marks on the display? I don't know what that is. So here's one crazy thing is I've went 6 miles on this bike so far, and I haven't lost a battery bar yet. What type of range am I gonna get out of this bike? Now, I did watch some YouTube reviews, and they were saying that you can get roughly like 28 to 30 miles of range on this bike, which makes sense because it's not giving you a lot of power when you're at top speed. It's cutting your power. So I can see that. Now, another test we need to do is we need to go through these gears and see how everything shifts while I run over some glass. Damn, Fresno. All right, so I'm gonna pedal, even though it takes a slight delay to go. Come on, bike, go, go, go. Come on, you can do this. There we go. Okay, now we're getting the power. So I want to pedal so I can kind of nicely go through these gears and stuff like that and kind of check it out. All right, so we're on 7. We're on the highest one right now. And real quick before I drop down, I will say that, yeah, I am ghost pedaling at about 27, 28 miles per hour. So it's not the best if you're like in the pedaling bikes and stuff like that. If I were to drop it down to roughly 24, 25, it still feels like I'm ghost pedaling, honestly. I feel like the chain ring up front would need to be ever so slightly bigger. But anyway, let's drop this down. Hey, there's some one-wheelers. So all the gears go through nice and firm. No complaints with it whatsoever. There's a reason why they put these same shifters on every single bike. They work, they do the job. All right, so real quick, getting up to speed, there, okay, right at about 19, 20 is when I'm ghost pedaling. It doesn't feel like I'm doing any type of work to the bike. I'm just moving the cranks to get the motor running. That's pretty much it. What's up, man? This guy's giving me a nod on this nice flat black e-bike. Gotta admit, this bike is very nice. And if you guys want to see more content on this bike, I will be taking it to work. Nighttime, we'll see how the headlight is. We can't see how the brake light is because that's one of the cons on this bike. It doesn't have a brake light. Something I wish it did have. I would rather take the brake light over not putting fenders on this bike. But I'm trying to think, like, so if this bike is normally $2,100, that's not worth it whatsoever. But with it being like $1,300, that's worth it. But I still feel like at that price, it should have fenders, at least. If it didn't have a brake light, it should have had fenders. It should have had something. All right, let me head back to the house and give you my final thoughts, even though I said a lot already. All right, so my final thoughts on this bike are, is it worth it for $1,299? And then using my links down in the description will probably get you a slight better discount. Yes, it's worth that price. It is not worth the regular MSRP that it is for being over $2,000. $2,000 is a lot for a bike that has no tail light, no fenders, nothing. I will say there are some cons. If you are a very tall person, it's actually probably gonna be a great bike for you. But if you're a short person, this is not gonna be ideal. Like if you're probably under like 5'5", you are gonna have the hardest time sitting on this seat. You're gonna have to go down to your bike store and you're gonna have to change this out, and you're gonna have to get rid of. One of the nicer features on this bike is having that adjustable seat post. But other than that, it's an okay bike. I mean, I didn't have any problems with it. I actually felt like it did better off-road than I thought it was gonna do. The suspension felt very good. I liked the display. We did have an issue with it looked like the screen burning in some spots, but after we turned the bike off, it went away. So I think it's some hot spots on the screen. Maybe your guys might not have that. I did notice that mine did get hit right in the center. It didn't crack the screen or anything like that, but it did leave a little mark on this bike. So maybe you guys won't have problems with your screen. I didn't notice anyone else complaining about it. The brakes felt good. When we did the first brake test, it was not the best, but once we did the second brake test, I noticed that the brakes were actually starting to embed themselves, and we were actually getting them hot, and they started working a lot better, especially for the rest of the trip. They were working for